Downtown El Dorado, a hot spot bustling with activity over the last few years. People now anxious to flock to the heart of the city, from fine dining, shopping, and recently entertainment. All those attractions bringing a lot of traffic. But a big issue for those heading downtown is parking. These signs spell it out. They say you're welcome to stay here for 3 hours, but after that, there's consequences. And she makes sure the rules aren't broken.
I think it's usually pretty easy to find parking. Just the time restriction can make it kind of difficult.
Drivers claim the hard part is understanding the system. We went straight to the source to find out how it's done.
I go out about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I mark the tires. I mark at the 6 o'clock and straight down and then the road. So I have a perfect line. Then when I finish my route, I look at my time and I come back 3 hours from that time and start checking the tires. And when they're lined up, that's when they get a ticket because I know they have not moved.
But to some, the method is still not clear-cut.
Even if someone has come downtown, gotten a mark, but then they leave and then they come back and they're parked somewhere else, she marks them again and counts that as their 3 hours, even though they weren't parked in the same spot for 3 hours, which is definitely unfair.
And some say they are slapped with a $10 ticket on their windshield without breaking the law.
We have an older customer, and she comes once a week for a massage, and then she gets her hair done at one of the salons, and then she likes to eat lunch. And, she can't park, 3 or 4 blocks away. And so it really, can be hard on her because she has to keep an eye on the time and make sure she hurries.
$10 tickets are more than minimum wage. So, if I get a $10 ticket one day, that's taking away an hour of my pay just to pay that.
Workers downtown say it's hard to find reasonable parking, and unloading into stores is a whole different issue. Some claim they've been penalized for that. The city's most recent ordinances say, quote, no vehicle shall remain parked in the downtown controlled parking area for a longer period than 3 hours, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., with the exception of Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays. This limit includes leaving and coming back, otherwise known as reparking. In May of 2018, the same was applied for disabled parking spaces.
1990, 1987.
Mayor Frank Hash says they've tried everything in the past, including parking meters, but he insists downtown merchants have requested this.
The little stores downtown are competing with the big box stores, and they need to have the convenience of parking.
And some agree that this is the best way.
And this probably works as well as anything. It would be nice if we had some places where we could rent parking spaces to park, but most of those are privately owned now, and there's just not much of a place, to rent spaces. But there are enough places off the square for those of us who work downtown that we can park in those areas and not take up the 3-hour parking.
Our biggest violators are folks who actually work down there. You can't have it both ways. You can't have adequate parking for your customers and yet you park where your customers have to park. So 1 block off, it's open, it's free parking all day long, unless you just are so physically unable to walk a block, you're going to have a problem.
The mayor says they've tried almost everything under the sun, but for those who got a ticket, they say officials preach shop local, but penalize drivers who come downtown to do it. For now, though, it appears the 3-hour limit is here to stay, unless the mayor and others come up with another solution. In El Dorado, Sheriff Cobbs, NBC 10, your local news leader.